Good morning. All right, we're going to try some things different today because I know everything's fuzzy on Google Meets. So I'm going to show you guys a quick little wrap up of what we did yesterday and what we're strengthening today. So we're going to focus on graphing lines in y-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Remember, the number in front of the x, the m, is the slope, and slope is always rise over run. And the b, the number all by itself, is the y-intercept. We're also going to work on reasoning with proportions, and I'm also going to work on, go over what we did the other day about making graphs from data, choosing intervals and identifying all that stuff. So, first things first, graphing lines in y-intercept form. So, let's do a couple of examples. I got y equals negative 2x plus 3. I'll do another line here that says y equals positive 1/3 x. Let's just do that, okay? So on all these examples I'm giving you guys, do not worry about printing off the copies and then doing all this. Just, you can make a quick little makeshift graph on your graph paper notebooks like such. It really takes just a few seconds. Did this in under 10 seconds, guys. It's not that hard. First things first, identify the y-intercept so that you guys know how to start this graph. So the y-intercept for this one is at 3. So I go up to 3 on the y-axis. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Right here. Okay? And the slope is negative 2. That doesn't mean go down and then go over. You always, slope as definition is always rise over run, which means you always go up first and then you either go left or right. And if it's negative or positive, that determines if you go left or right. Remember, all these numbers this way, the number line are negative. All these numbers on the number line are positive. Hence, you go right when it's positive, left when it's negative. So every whole number sits on top of an invisible 1 as well. So remember, I'm rising 2, 1, 2, and because it's negative, I go to the left 1. Every whole number has a run of 1. Don't forget that. Go back to my starting point. Now go down 2 and go right 1. Every negative line you draw should always go up and to the left and also down and to the right. So that is this line right here. Okay? Now this one, another question some of you guys had yesterday. Where do I start one like this off? So y equals 1/3 x. There's no plus or minus. So when there's no plus or minus, I can start that right at the 0 because that is the y-intercept for every situation like this. The slope is 1/3, and now this is in fraction form. I know to go up 3, and because it's up 1, and because it's positive, I go right 3. So for my starting point, up 1, right 1, 2, 3. Back to my starting point, do the opposite. Go down 1, go left 1, 2, 3. Okay? That is that. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll go on to the next piece for today. Now let's do another graph. Let's say y equals x minus 4, and y equals, I don't know, let's just say negative 3x minus 1. Okay? On my little makeshift graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go down just a little more just to be safe to get all my numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. First things first, y equals x minus 4. My y-intercept for this guy is negative 4. Not 4, it's negative 4. Remember, that's a negative, not a minus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that guy. And my slope, how many x's do you see there? I see 1. Even though the number 1 is not in front of it, it is really there. That is a slope of 1. So that means go up 1, and because it's positive, go right 1. Go up 1, go right 1, go up 1, go right 1, go up 1, go right 1. Now, why did I do that? Because I want all my lines that are in a y-intercept form to cross both my x and my y-axis. It'll make life a lot easier as we go through this. So as a rule of thumb, whenever you see y equals x minus 4, or y equals x plus or minus anything, always try to make it cross the x and the y axis. Because there's going to be a lot of questions later on. They're going to ask you for the x-intercept, the y-intercept. And if we just develop these habits of line early, it's going to make it much easier. So that is this line right here. Now let's do this one. Y equals negative 3x minus 1. I start at the negative 1 on the y-axis. My slope is negative 3. That means go up 3 and go left 1. 1, 2, 3, left 1. Back to my starting point. 1, 2, 3, right 1. And there is that. I'm going to do 2 more examples, and then I'm going to let you guys see the next piece of the lesson. Okay? Now let's say I'm given a situation like this. Y equals negative 2 and x equals 4. Just random, I just chose these. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's no mx in that first example, so there's no slope. So this line is no slope, means it's flat land. I go to the y equals negative 2. This is the y-intercept. And I plot that point, and I literally just draw a straight line, because there's no slope to it. Now, x equals 4. There's no y in this situation, so because there's no y, this will not cross the y-axis. Just like there's no x in this one, that means this will not cross the x-axis. So go to the y equals 4, x equals 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw your vertical line, and you are all done. And that is that.